I know what it feels like to be an underdog. You walk into a meeting and you think, I don't know if I know everything to be in this meeting, but you have to figure it out and you have to learn on the job. And they say fake it till you make it. But the reality is, you just have to have those insecurities that are mulling around until you get to a point where you're like me, where there's honestly, I know that if I sit in a meeting with a brand owner, a founder, a big brand, small brand, emerging brand, underperforming brand, I know I bring value. I know I have enough at bats to bring tremendous value. Startups, the struggle is real. I am creating this podcast for you as a startup. I know I work with so many startups. I have them reach out. The most challenging part of being a startup is that you have an amazing idea. You are so passionate. You're willing to do the work. I have startups that I mentor, and I'm telling you, they do the work more than some of these other brands that are paying a lot of money to work with me. They actually do the work. They actually take the advice. They actually take massive action. But the challenge with startups, and I'll just say this because I work with them kind of pro bono, I just take their calls. I say, it's on my calendar. You come prepared. You do the work. I'll give you the expertise, but you do the work, right? You're going to have to do the work because my time is very valuable, and they do. But I think the challenge with startups is no one wants to work with them because they don't have resources. Because we are in an economy where people want to exchange money for their time and services. And that is a very big shame. And I see that a lot. I'm trying to change that. It's my vision to change that. It's my vision to be able to meet startups and emerging brands where they are and still be a resource for them. But there are so many people in this industry that just won't even take a startup call. As soon as you put in that you're 0 to 1 million or 0 to 3 million, they're like, oh, you're too small. You're not going to be able to afford my retainer. Go away. But there's no place for those startups to go. So they end up making mistakes. I call them rookie mistakes, and not having those foundational pieces in place. And I'll tell you, it's not just startups. We want to blame startups and say that's just them. But the reality is, it's not just startups that make this mistakes. I work with brands that have been in business for 15 plus years that have made those same mistakes. And because the market's been on their side, they've been able to get away with it, right? So they haven't had to pay the price, or they do later, but they're not considered a startup anymore. So they're not thrown in that category of, oh, it's a rookie mistake, but it's still a rookie mistake because they didn't have someone in their business, an operator or someone in their business that could help them make the right decisions at the beginning. So this podcast is for startups. I know you need a place to grow. You need a place to cultivate and plant your seeds. And it's like, I have a lemon tree in my backyard, and we planted it, and it took a long time for it to bear fruit. And I still had to go to the grocery store and buy my lemons until it started bearing fruit. And I just walked past it and said, oh, wow, there's actually lemons on there. But my point is, I had to be able to afford to still buy them while my free fruit is growing. And that's the struggle that a lot of startups have, is that they don't have the resources to go buy their fruit. So they got to figure out a way to be as resourceful as possible. And sometimes that means they bring in people that don't have experience. They make decisions that aren't in the best interest of their business. They don't build some of the foundational pieces because they don't have those key people that are able to come in their business and set up some of these systems. And unfortunately, they end up probably losing market momentum, and honestly not even seeing really the fruits of their labor for a lot longer. And that is a shame. I think what Shopify did by creating a low barrier to entry and allowing brands to start on Shopify was addressing that, honestly, on a big scale. They said, hey, we can build a platform for all of these big brands. But the reality is, there's already platforms out there. They're complicated. They take a lot of resources to manage. They take a lot of internal resources to manage, people resources and technology resources. Let's build a platform that is plug and play for startups, because that's a big addressable market and we want to play there. And I think that that's a brilliant idea. So I think for me, like, the most important piece is to be there for startups. And one of the projects that I'm working on that I'm launching soon is I'm building a school community, and it's called Startup Activator. It's the Startup Activator community. It's not just for startups, it's for startups and emerging brands. It's a place for you to go and learn from me in a more one-to-many way, so that I can share resources and tools and shortcut the path that you need to take to build your business. It came to me from a coach that I had. We were talking about my skill set, and he's like, wow, Kelly, I bet there's secrets that you have about how to grow a business. Wouldn't it be awesome to share those? And I said, It would be. Right now, the only one who gets access to sort of my fast paths and all the little secrets I have and the things that I can just be like, oh, this is this, and make an introduction to this company. And I can say, oh, this is how I solved this. Here's the framework, and send them an email. People pay a lot of money for that. I would love to work with brands and be able to just give them those resources and support them on a more macro level. And he said, I think you should start a community. I think you should start a community because you're passionate when you talk about startup. And I am, because I feel like they're underdogs. And I have always said I am an underdog because I've had to learn so much on the job. I have my degree in business administration, but I'll be honest with you, I learned most of what I know by actually being in the trenches and running businesses, running brands, and being able to learn things very short sleeved, very much wear many hats, very much being able to humble myself to be in a room full of people that maybe know more than I do, but always being that person who became an expert in every piece of the business. And because of that, I know what it feels like to be an underdog. You walk into a meeting and you think, I don't know if I know everything to be in this meeting, but you have to figure it out and you have to learn on the job. And they say fake it till you make it. But the reality is, you just have to have those insecurities that are mulling around until you get to a point where you're like me, where there's honestly, I know that if I sit in a meeting with a brand owner, a founder, a big brand, small brand, emerging brand, underperforming brand, I know I bring value. I know I have enough at bats to bring tremendous value. So, what you're going to be hearing from me soon is I'm launching a school community and I'm really excited. The platform is phenomenal. I have 5 courses on, essentially, it's the foundational piece of building a business. I built it, it's thousands of hours. I built it as a resource for these emerging brands and these startup brands, and also as a bit of an onboarding for some of the brands that I work with and you know, multiple parts of their business. And it just helps me to fast track a little bit of, this is how I think, take my finance course. This is how I think, take my branding course. Kind of knowing where the gaps are, I'm able to sort of, plug in that course. So it saves me time of having to go through and explain and teach and give them the frameworks. I took this whole course. It's 5 modules and they're very robust modules. And I've actually moved it over to the school platform, which was amazing. And I've started this community that I'm going to be launching very soon. It's called Startup Activator. And it's where brands rise and we build businesses together. And I love that because there's so much about building a brand that is part of building the business. It's a big part of the infrastructure that people miss. So I am really excited about it. I'm really excited about it because I've not been this passionate about what I do in a long time. And I'm excited to have, some of these brands that I already work with on a pro bono type of level. I'm going to have them in there and they're going to have access and they're going to be in a community where other people can come in. I'm excited to have people that work within brands that are missing some of these key, resources, or working with someone at my level 20 plus years and being able to just pick my brain, bring their challenges and their jobs, be able to bring them to the community in our Q&A and our strategy calls. I've left such a great track record of people that when I text them, they text me right back. When I send them a LinkedIn, they LinkedIn me right back. When I ask them, if they could support me in something like this, they will say, yes, I can't wait. I would love to do that because everyone wants to give back. And so this community is a labor of love. My course that's in there will be part of the community. When you're in the community, you'll have access to that course. There'll be breakout. There's a gamification inside the community, which I'm really excited about, which the more interactive you are, the more it unlocks the courses, as well as at the very top level, which is the visionary level, it'll unlock a small group. So, versus being in a large group, a 5-to-1 ratio of having 5 people to 1, where they can spend time with me and bring their challenges, and I can help them one on one with their strategy around building their business. And so I'm really, really excited about it. You're going to hear more about it. I'm going to be launching it very soon. I've already had some of my inner circle. I have them going into the community and kind of kicking the tires and giving me feedback, etc. But essentially, this is a place where I can cultivate emerging and startup brands that have no other place to go, and they are opening these businesses. They are starting these Shopify stores. They are starting whatever they're starting, whether they're selling on wholesale, whatever it is, and they don't have the resources to hire me, and they don't even have the resources sometimes to hire that one person that has experience. So they need a place to go, and I'm creating that place. I'm going to give them that school so that they can feel safe in an environment with someone who knows how to guide them with a tool so that they can actually learn, that they're not, buying a course. They're able to go in, go through the course, ask questions real time. I will be very active in the community. I will be very accessible in Q&As. At first, I'm going to do Q&A strategy, but I'm also going to be, as the group grows, I'll be breaking that out into operations versus finance, um, versus sales versus product versus branding, and having different meetings and bringing in experts from those areas that can help mentor, give you resources that some of these brands that are even larger than you still won't have. Because I have resources that honestly, blood, sweat, and tears, and lots of hours, and lots of, rolling up my sleeve and building relationships with people and being humble enough to say, can you help me? And paying people, paying a lot of money throughout the years. And I'm going to bring those to this community for those people. So if you know people that are starting brands, starting businesses, anything, selling anything online, selling anything, whatever, this shirt, this necklace, my glasses, swimwear, lingerie, whatever it is, hats, whatever it is, you're selling a product either online or offline, you're building a business, and you want to work with an expert and you want to have access to me, this school community will be launching soon and you will have access to me. And I am so excited to meet you there. I feel like a little girl. I feel like this little child that's got this toy that she gets to play with, in the sense of I get to work with people that are truly going to take action and they're going to benefit from this. And I get to watch their business grow and mentor them. And I will also say that even if you're not building a brand, meaning you don't want to be a brand owner, but you work in a brand or you work in an agency environment where you work with brands, this community is still going to be great for you. Because one of the biggest gaps I saw when I went agency side, because I worked for one of the largest Shopify agencies and I work with clients and I had a brand background. I worked in the brand side. So I worked for, Vicks, and I worked for many brands. And so I brought this level of expertise of understanding what truly happens on the brand side. And it was a big differentiator for me across that agency. And one of the things that a lot of our partners would say was, wow, you really understand how brands work. And I could see the business through the brand side. We were able to make a lot of improvements and communication and how we thought about our services. So even if you don't have a brand, but you know that having this knowledge about how to build a brand, you're planning to build a brand. Maybe you're in college and you're in your fourth year and you want to be an entrepreneur. You're not going to probably learn that in college. So come into this community. Let me teach you. I'm really excited. I'll be announcing it very, very soon. I'm leaving you with like a little bit of a cliffhanger here, but I'm going to be announcing it very soon. And I'd love for you to join. So, anyway, I'll leave you on that note. I'm excited, a new passion of mine to be able to really give back in a way, and also, meet a lot of really cool entrepreneurs that are building something that I want to help support, and I want to be a part of that as well. So I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.